to me, it was like everything that, you know, we came up doing and banging and stuff like that, there was no cause for it. It was, you know, after doing all this time and just, you know, you grow with maturity, you know?
Yeah.
And it was just no point, because we out here, you know, trying to tear each other's heads off, and just to go in there and then be sellies with an enemy.
So for those who are listening, why do you think poly gangs got started in the first place out here in California and the States?
Well, I think, well, you know, when you look at it, like back in the day, really, you know, it all started off with, you know, everybody was break dancing, you know, pop locking and stuff like that. But, you know, as years go by, everything changes, just like generation, you know what I mean? So I think by just growing and just to seeing what the culture was like out here in LA, you know, I guess the Usos just figured, like, you know, if we can't be from Maoli gang, mostly our communities is, you know, our own people, might as well try to figure out some, try to make our own neighborhood or something, you know?
Right.
Yeah. So when I came, I was young, you know, I was 3 years old. We migrated down here to Carson, living with my family, you know, try to get off our feet and stuff like that, as far as, you know, my family. And then from there, when my dad came from Samoa, you know, he got on his feet, got a job, and got us out of, you know, living with the other Aingas and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Was living in Carson for a little bit until, you know, my older siblings, they start, you know, getting out of high school, getting jobs, and was able to, you know, help him pay some bills and stuff like that. So we ended up moving to Long Beach in like '85. But before we moved to Long Beach, I was already hip to it, because I had like some cousins that came and stayed with us. They was already banging. Mm-hmm. And this was like, I say 1981, 82, all that, you know. So I was kind of hip to it already, because I had a cousin coming from Long Beach who was young in elementary, and he was like, "Hey, cuz." I'm like, "Hey, what's going on?" And then it just kind of got hip from there, you know. And then when I moved to Long Beach, it was like I was in the 5th grade, and everybody in elementary was like, "Hey, cuz." I'm like, oh, okay. You know?
Yeah.
And it just started getting real from like junior high school and stuff like that, you know? On to junior high school. Mom thought it was best to not let me go to Long Beach schools, because she already seen the kind of route I was taking. So I went out here and I stayed in Carson with my other family. They were from the other side, the Pyrus and stuff like that. And I actually grew up with them. And I kind of like basically grew up to know everybody from Carson, you know. Right. You know, the community is small. If you know somebody, you know everybody. And then I ended up going to high school, and then everything just started getting worse from there, you know. Mm-hmm. The banging and shit like that, it just, right around that time, the banging was real, you know. It was real active, you know, when I came in around 16, 17, 18, those years right there, it was real active. You know, that's where but I still managed to do what my parents always wanted me to do. The main thing that they say, we don't give a shit what you do as long as you go to school. Finish school. Don't mess with no girls and stuff like that. We don't want to hear about nobody getting pregnant, shit like that. Finish school.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, no problem. I was in high school playing football, shit like that. And then after a football game, the homies come picking me up and stuff like that. And we go right back to the hood, do what we do.
Man. Was you guys funking with other poly gangs or different races?
Yeah, we was beefing with everybody else.
Everybody, yeah.
Yeah. Basically, we beefing with everybody, but at the same time, it was a little bit easier because, like I said, I already knew everybody already. Out here growing up in Carson, but then just growing up, especially in Long Beach, you already know what LA is like. It's racial out there,
Right.
So in Long Beach, it's straight racial, and our little beef with the Mexicans and stuff like that. That's just basically how we grew up, But at the same time, we had the Asian homies down here. We was all together. A lot of Asians from the neighborhood too and stuff like that. So, as we went to prison, it was nothing different.
Right. Right. Right.
So,
but the polys and the Asians that did funk on the streets, you guys started realizing that we was together in the penitentiary versus the streets.
Well, like I said, my neighborhood, I'm from the side, so and we have a clique off of the side that's called Suicidals, and they're basically they're like all the races, Asian, Cambodian, white, black. They got every single race in there, Guatemalans, everything. And from us growing up with them during the active years, it was nothing new, to where we went in, we already had love for the Asians already because those was the homies.
Right.
So some of the Usos, they was kind of like, skeptical on that because it was like they was thinking like, we even though they from Long Beach and stuff like that, that we taking up, giving more love to the Asian homies and stuff like that. But I'm like, on the streets, these are the homies from the hood. So,
right.
they Usos too.
Right.
But yeah, the Usos over here, they have they were supposed to get together because we're trying to write our bylaws right now. For our nonprofit. We got to get educated, not just sitting here like those who said with a thumb up our ass and shit, not getting nowhere, So
real shit.
We're trying to educate ourselves on this nonprofit,
Yeah, man. We've been quiet too long, man. It's time for us to let our voice be heard, man.
That's what we trying to do over here, because that's what the Uso, one of the big Usos, he's from out of Compton. Everybody done told their story already, You got the Meulis, Balangis, Meshkos, but ain't nothing ever came from us,
Nope.
And the only difference with our movement and all the other movements as far as like the Toko Usos and stuff like that is that we from LA, where all the bullshit started, what I mean? So if we could come together and at least try to, make a change for the better for the not only the kids, the community, and the culture, but I think everybody else around the world, they'll look at that like, man, that's we should follow their lead, Hopefully we could plant the root right here and let the tree grow everywhere else.
Yeah, I like that, man. I like that because in LA, that's pretty much where it all started with the Usos,
Yeah,
man.
yeah,
So, y'all ground zero. We got to fix it
yeah,
over there,
yeah.
and
So
we look at y'all and talking to a lot of polys from the islands, they look at us out here in the States and they look up to us, man, and they follow what we do.
yeah,
So we need to set an example, more of a positive example in our communities, So I like
yes,
what y'all
sir.
doing, man. That's good shit.
Yeah, we trying to make it happen, Noose.
Yeah.
Like I said, we just barely getting off of the ground right now. We just barely, got our board, together to where we got the chairman. I'm the vice chairman, and the secretary and stuff like that. But you know, it's kind of hard, but we trying to make it happen. You
Right.
know, even though I'm out here in Utah, I've been missing meetings and stuff like that. But yesterday we had one, and basically, we're not wasting time no more. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We've been talking about it too long. Now it's time to start, pushing paperwork and putting shit into motion.
Mm-hmm.
So
Nice.
we just trying to study up on the nonprofit and trying to get all our paperwork together so that we could get this thing going.
Man, I like it. I like what y'all doing. So for the people that don't know you, man, what do they call you out there? What do they know you by out there in the streets?
Uh, when I was doing my thing, they called me Dillinger. Call
All
me
right.
Dillinger from Long Beach, West Side Sons of Samoa.
That's right.
And
That's right.
basically it done wasted over 3 decades of my life. You know what I mean? I did 18 and a half years, got out. Now that I got kids, it's a whole new different ball game now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everything that I used to put my heart and soul into, it just as you mature, it's like it wasn't worth it.
Right.
You
Right.
know, it wasn't worth it. Now that all my time and energy that I was putting into that, I'm putting it into my kids now, and my family, and trying to put into this movement. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's
That's it.
kind of hard to change the minds of these youngsters because at the same time we was young, and trying to. It's like somebody that's trying to tell me to do better when I was young. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I looked at him like, yeah, all right.
Yeah. Yeah. We
So
knew it all back then. That's why.
yeah, yeah. But we just took the time to listen. And
Yep.
if we had some real big homies that was really there, be like, hey,
Yeah.
you don't need to be doing this
Yeah.
shit. You know what I mean? Go to school.
Mhm.
Go get an education, shit like that. That's the type of big homie we needed. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right.
But
Especially coming from somebody that's been through it. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like you said, you spent, decades of your life going through that
yeah.
shit.
It was just a fortunate thing of coming from a good family. You
Mm-hmm.
know, you know how we are raised, and you know how we grow with morals and stuff like that. That's just what the culture is. But
Right.
um, by me taking that into the gangbang world and taking that to prison, everything was just easy. You know,
Yeah.
it's not like anything was difficult. You just got to know what's right, what's wrong, and shit like that. You know what I
Mm.
mean?
Yeah.
And just know that there's consequences to everything you do.
Exactly.
And just by being in there, it's just like I was never one to be like, hey, Oats, go do this, go do that. Nah, you got me fucked up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I always I get in there and we always have some, agree to disagree, Oos, because I ain't no pushover. I ain't your little Oos. No bullshit like that. I'm my own man. I ain't doing no shit. You know, I ain't no sucker. You know what I mean?
Right.
Point blank. You go do your own shit. That's your beef. Go do it.
Yeah.
You know, I'll ride for the cause. I'll ride for the car, but we got to know what we riding for, not just on no stupid shit. You know.
Right. When you did time, that was what years was that in when you did time?
I started off in '93.
Mm-hmm.
I went to YA, fucking up in YA, and then they sent me to Lancaster level 4. So I went from YA to level 4, and then it got really real quick.
Yeah.
So I went there. I went to the level 4. Was there for like maybe a year or so. It wasn't that bad because the yard was split. You know, the population, too much bullshit was already going on, so they had to put that fence between the yard to separate people.
Right.
That way, everybody ain't, there ain't too many motherfuckers out here on the yard. Too many people to watch, too much shit going on, too many motherfuckers getting stabbed.
Yeah.
So they had to split the yards, and that's when they came out with the lower tier, top tier bullshit, or big side yard, small side. And
Right.
it was kind of fucked up because, probably only like 3 or 5 of us on the yard, and maybe two of us on the big side, the rest on the other side. We got to talk through the fence and shit like that, and it just wasn't, all it was bullshit, But then after that, I went down to the 3-yard Lancaster, and I ended up paroling from there. I was actually with my road dog. I was out here on the streets with,
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, we committing all these crimes together, and we couldn't even get along in the damn cell.
It'd be like that too. That's funny.
Yeah. So
So you pulled how much time in there?
Right there, off of that one, I did. I was like 3 months away from 5 years, and then I came home. It made me worse than when I went in. Came out here, and I tore up some more shit, and then everything was just happening so fast for me at that time. I was just like a walking time bomb, doing a lot of stupid shit, and I think if I didn't go in at that time, it would have been worse for me, because I had the whole little crew. Yeah, I had the crew coming all the way from elementary, junior high, high school. I was like 23, 24 at the time. Started off with like 3, 4, 5, 6. Every day is like 15, 20. They're getting deeper and deeper. I'm like, God damn, where the fuck all these motherfuckers come from? And they was all young. They was ready to, whatever. And where we were staying at the time, we was in a war zone out there on the east side of Long Beach, living in the Mexicans neighborhood. We was like New Jack City right there, surrounded by all. It was like they put a little poly apartment right there in Mexico.
Yeah, man.
So what I did was I strapped up all the little homies. I said, anybody, it was all homos who stayed in here. It was like three duplexes. And I was just like, if anybody comes or goes, just go stand out there and just make sure they're safe to their car and get in the building. That's it.
Yeah.
Other than that, don't be fucking standing outside in the alley and in the street, nothing. Because before I got there, before I moved in over there, one of the homies, he came through the alley to try to get in the building, and they popped out on him from the other block, and they hit him 5 times. So it was like, oh shit, this type of ball game we got over here. All right. So we we got to play ball just like they play ball.
Yeah.
So right there, it was like real active to where the shit I went in for, it was actually some bullshit. Some homies had did some shit before we had jumped in the car, and they didn't even say nothing, and I got caught up in the shit.
Man, you were on
And then,
parole?
yeah, and by me being on parole and being an ex-con and shit like that, they hit me with that 6-year gang enhancement.
Damn.
So
Yeah.
when we did go in for that first time, and we was in there getting ready for our preliminary, the homie was like, before we went, they called us to see our lawyer. They like, hey, I just wanted to tell you what we did before we went to the store. I said, what the fuck y'all did? They said, me and the homie, we went over here and we robbed this other cat over here and down the block. I'm like, what the fuck?
Mm-hmm.
So actually, the streets were already hot because they got the call from that, So then when we got to the store and did this stupid shit at the store, right when they got that call, they all pulled up right there. Mm. So when we went in and we was ready for our preliminary, before he told me that, we go see the lawyer and they said, yeah, Ulysses? And I'm like, yeah, what's up? Yeah, they trying to give you 37 to life. I'm like, what? I'm thinking like, well, I'm calculating in my own head, like, yeah, probably get like 5 years or something. It wasn't too bad. All we did is smash this nigga up. That's it. And he was like, yeah. I'm like, 37 for what? And it was like, yeah, you guys got a robbery over here. That was the whole robbery. And then the bad thing about it was I had my strap on me, and the O's had his strap on him too. But the thing was, they had used that this other crime to where there was pistol whipping this fool, and the clip fell out over there.
Mm-hmm.
So the clip was out over there, and he got the fun. He don't even know that the clip is not in there. Mm. Left it under the seat. So right when we come out the store, I toss mine. I try to make it to the guy valley. I'm thinking to myself, should I run? I'm on parole. Should I run or what? Like, nah, just 5 years. Don't worry about it. I'm like, fuck, man. All right. Freeze. And we get in here and they tell us this. I said, man, you know what? I'm guilty already. Mm. They're looking for two idiots, and you guys are the 2 idiots. So we went to the court. They was like, they didn't recognize me. They didn't know who I was or anything, but the victim that they whooped on over here in the alley, he pointed out the homie. Well, he couldn't point me out, but, I'm guilty by affiliation. Right. I'm fucked. So we stayed there and we just fought it all the way, just play the game with him all the way till first day of trial. And then we were like, man, what you guys got? And for the O's, since it was like his first time going to prison, they was like, all right, we offer you 10 years. And I'm like, how about me? They were like, all right, for you get 16. Mm. I would have got the 10 years too, but the 5 years and a year for the fanger. I'm like, yeah, that a bitch. And me, I was looking at the O's, I'm like, man, I'm calculating 23, 30, I'll be 38. Fuck, man. Mm. I was like, let's do it. As long as I got a date, I ain't trying to play with my life like all these other cats, you know, trying like taking this to the box.
Yeah.
I ain't about to do all that. Yeah.
That happened to a lot of people.
Yeah, I ain't doing that. It was, you know, I spent too much time in the county and everybody tried to be a pro per. Like, hell no. Nah. Ain't putting my life in your hand to where I'll be sitting here forever. Fuck that.
That's right. So would they end up breaking you off?
16.
Damn.
Then off of that one, I did 14.
85%.
Yeah, 85%. And then, you know, I was fucking up in there too. So I had to do the whole thing, did 14. I did the max right there. And then 2 weeks right before I got out, I got caught with a phone. So they had put me on S time, Moose.
Oh, man.
They put me on S time. It was
Dead
the first
time.
day. I went back to work. They was like, oh, man, they put you on S time. I'm like, oh, yeah? All right, man. See y'all later.
Yeah.
I went back, started fucking with my phone, and the damn goon squad came in and got me. And I was like, shit. I got 3 more months off of that shit.
Damn.
Instead of going home in September, I went home in January. They're like, man, you don't want to go home or what? I said, man, fuck.
Yeah. Man, so let me ask you, when you first got out the first time, you know, because a lot of people ask this, you know, about polys, you know, why do we get out and we go back to that same shit, you know what I'm saying, versus like getting out and doing something different, staying away from the hood or whatnot?
So for me, I got out, you know, staying with my parents and stuff like that. I was trying to get on my feet, you know. I got a job, everything was good. I got my first car, everything was good. But then shit started happening on the streets. And you know, everything that happens on the streets, it kind of turns you up a little bit, you know. Kind of angers you a little bit more to where, you know, you want to do some more stupid shit. And then I started getting into it with my family. I got into it with my pops. My pops was tripping on me because I don't know, maybe he was getting old already, and it was just like, because I was working 2 jobs. I was working 2 jobs to where I was giving pops on one of my jobs. I was paying him like every other week, you know, but the other job every week, that was all me. And I'm giving him money, and I don't know if he just forgot or the niggas just trying to eat my money and shit like that, to where from there I got into it with him. He said, you know, if you trying to play me, then you could get up out my house. And I'm like, damn, pops, like that. And I was like, all right, fuck it. So I left, and then it got worse one time because I was at work and I had one of those courier jobs, you know, and I would always I was driving city to city, and then I would come back home around lunchtime starving. I'm like trying to creep up in Pop's house, like, hey, guys, got any food over here? They're like, yeah, we got some food. We got some steak up in here. I was over there warming up some steak. I don't know, Pops probably smelled the steak aroma or something. he came running down the stairs like, hey, what the hell you doing in my house? I was like, oh, shit, Pops, you tripping like that? He like, yeah, when I tell you, ooh. So he tried to bust a nutty on me, and I just busted a nutty on him. You know, I went and grabbed a knife. I'm like, here, you know, you brought me in this world. You might as well take me out if you're going to treat me like this. You know what I mean? So I would start banging my head into the wall and shit like this. I said, come on, Pops. Come on. This is what you started, you know? This is what you want? Come on. And he looked at me, he like, this motherfucker's crazy. He just went back upstairs. So I was like, that shit kind of aggravated me some, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then I went and stayed with my sister. Then while I was staying with my sister, there was some shit going on in her house that I didn't agree with, you know what I mean? So it's kind of like I told her, I'm like, if you don't fix that shit, I ain't gonna pay you shit. You know, I ain't gonna give you no rent money. And then she was like, it's all right with me. If you don't pay me no rent, then you're gonna be staying in here by yourself. I said, fuck it. So I was staying there and she moved out. Next thing you know, the lights went out. I'm like, oh shit. Fuck I'm gonna do now, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then I didn't have nowhere else to turn to. So we have this auntie from the hood that, you know, she's like the almighty auntie, you know what I mean? Auntie Ross, I love you. So I hit her up, you know, and she's with the business all day. You know, she's like 50 something, still, you know, still doing her thing. And it's like I hit her up, sup, auntie, I need a place to stay. She's like, come on, you know. And then when I got there, she had all these little knuckleheads all over here. So, you know, all I did was come over here and just guide them into some more bullshit.
Mm.
And then from there, it just, you know, just that's when I got caught up. It didn't last too long there. Probably lasted about 2 or 3 months. Then I went in again. Right after I left my pops and my sisters, I moved with Auntie Ross, moved to the east side, and everything just started going downhill. Like my first week there, I got into 2 shootouts, and then that's how it was. Shit was just really cracking over there, you know. So the Crimea I went in with, he got out and he got killed. So, you know, rest in peace, Blue. So, you know, the Usos, it's like, you know, mostly all the Usos that I ran with before when I was younger, it's like they're not here no more. You know? And the ones that are here now, they're young and we ain't on the same level. No. You know what I mean? And I just feel that I'm on my own, you know. So just so I don't get caught up into that bullshit no more, I'm gonna just let them you know, let them do their thing, you know. I'd rather focus on my kids and my own family now and try to get this movement up and running so that, you know, maybe we can change the lives of, you know, the little homies or anybody we could reach out to, you know.
Yeah, see, you speaking from experience, man. You said it right there. You know, it was the falling out with the fam and things like that. You know, you feeling like the support ain't there no more. That I think that's the problem with me too. You know, when I didn't feel like my mom's and them was giving me the support that I felt. You know, because we family oriented. So once you feel like they turned their back on you, you know, you feel like really it don't even matter. Like you said, fuck it. That's the 2 words we always go to. Fuck it. That's our excuse to just wild out. You know what I'm saying? So, but what you're trying to do now, because you've been through that, you trying to start this group, and give back that kind of support and that you know that love to people who need it, who ain't getting that type of shit. You know, guidance, that type of guidance out there. So, man, that's good, Oos, man. And you know, with Samoan people, it is hard for us to speak up and speak about a lot of these things, you know, especially about our families, you know. Yeah. Because, you know, growing up myself, you know, like my mom and them, they didn't really tell me about, you know, a lot of the things that went on with our families and things like that.
Yeah.
They kept a lot of things. If you ask questions, they tell you what you want to know for, you know, like don't ask questions, don't talk about it. You know what I'm saying? And I think a lot of polys, a lot of Usos grow up, you know, not being able to express themselves and become angry.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And you know, we go out there and the only way we can find out on how to be a man is with our fists. And you know what I'm saying? So, but you, like you told me in the beginning of this, is that you trying to do this a smarter way. You know what I mean? We got to educate ourselves. We got to, you know, learn how to speak with one another and communicate and unite. I like what you're doing, Uso. I appreciate you. You know,
it's all good.
Yeah.
Main thing was we was trying to at least try to bring peace with all the neighborhoods and stuff like that. And then, you know, without us being just at a standstill, it was like, you know what, let's try to take this to another level.
Okay.
So we came up with a name. It's called FOU movement. So FOU stands for, the acronym is Fa'atasinga or Usos.
Okay.
You know, the gathering of brothers.
Nice.
Because was trying to see, you know, what fits best, because, you know, the Usos is already locked in, and it was kind of hard to go off of that, for the simple fact that, you know, the United States got that Uso organization.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like we have to come up with something similar, just to try to, you know, put it out there.
Right.
And so far, we got the name, put it out there. It's been like about a little bit over a month. And the Uso's been, you know, we've been having our little Zoom meetings, putting it out on social media and stuff like that. Getting a lot of positive feedback, you know.
Right.
So now we just trying to put the wheels on this thing and start zooming away. You know,
that's right.
That's why we came up with the best thing for us is try to get into the nonprofit.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so we all trying to learn about that, because most of those on here, I say there's 20 of us on the table, and I think about 16 of us all been locked up. So, you know, everybody's from everywhere, from Long Beach, Carson, Compton, Santa Ana, Oceanside, San Diego. You know,
right.
The main thing, the main purpose of our movement is you don't have to go to prison to become an Uso. You know what I mean? We could be Usos out here before, you know, all this bullshit, because, you know, actually what we doing right here is bullshit, you know? And like I said, we didn't have them real G homies that, you know, could tell us, you know, oh, this ain't the way, you know, shit like that, you know. But it's just hard to try to tell hardheads, you know, how to do their shit, you know. So all we saying is just follow our lead, you know what I mean? Let us lead by example, and if you don't want to lead by, you know, if you don't want to follow our lead, then continue to just, you know, go on your path. But what we telling you now is that if you want to keep doing what you're doing and not, you know, jump on board, then when you go to prison, don't go to the Usos, you know. Just keep on banging your colors, you know, because this is what we're telling you right here anyway, you know. But the main thing is inside is, you know, you'll never get that alofa like your peoples. You know, if you choose to choose the other cars and shit like that, you know, because the Maoris they're not gonna give you that full alo alo and alofa like the Usos is gonna give you, you know, because that's just our culture. You know what I mean?
Real talk.
And it's not like they're gonna give you that case of soup that we're gonna give you. You know, like, you hungry? Oh man, damn! I wish I could help you too.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's all good.
Yeah, the Uso way in there, man. We look out for everybody, man. Not just our people, Balangi people, Maoris, Mexicos. We look out. We ain't greedy. You know, we show love. You know what I'm saying?
It's just the kind of heart we got. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The faku is different. You know, it's just different compared to how everybody else's heart is. You know, and that's why it's a big difference, and it's kind of hard for these youngsters to understand and to walk in our shoes if they ain't never walked, because you know, at the same time we the smallest on the yard, but we got the most heart. You know. And we're gonna ride against regardless if it's just 10 of us against 300 or what. I guess we just gonna die then, you know what I mean? So we're gonna go out, you know, fist in the air and try our best, but hey, we're not gonna back down, you know what I mean? And that's the point I'm trying to get across to these young cats, that you have all the homies out here and the guns and stuff like that, but when you hit the line, it's all about individual. You know what I mean? And how you gonna walk your line? You know, you gonna be solid, or you gonna be that little hey, hold this knifey, you know, or hold this shit, hold that. You know, that's what it comes down to. You gonna be one of the elite squad, or you gonna be like, hey, you gotta go stab this motherfucker over here and shit like that. You know, all that punk shit. But so you know, we tell all the Usos coming in, you know, the youngsters, they come in and you know they super crippin' and shit like that. But you know, you could try to, you know, give them some advice, and they'll figure it out for themselves. As you know, time goes by, they be like, man, they right. You know what I mean? Because it was the same thing for me. It was it took a couple years until I was walking on the yard with my road dog, I told you. And we was on night yard, and me and a couple of Usos, we was all walking. I'm like, yeah, cuz. And he was like, hey, Us, you cuss too much. I was like, what? It kind of fucked me up, but you know, I had to let it sink in and try to understand, you know what I mean? Because that's when it comes to you want to cuz, you got to go run with them, you know what I mean? It ain't no straddling the fence over here, you know? So that's where it kind of like woke me up a little bit, you know, to where when I came in on my second term, that's when it got real, because I think you don't really learn no shit if you do, you know, you don't do that much time. You know what I mean? I think it is more real when you do a nice little stretch to where your understanding is more visual. You know what I mean? To compare to just going in and out and a couple years here and there, and then it's just different. You know, but I think if you do like a little bit over 10, you or 10 or around there, 9, 8, you get a little better understanding.
You're gonna feel it. Yeah,
you're gonna feel it compared to that little 5. Yeah, you know, I did this, but got out, and more bullshit came about it. You know, it's just that the weight is more heavy. You know, and maturity.
Yeah. So now you got out there, you in Utah, got a family, you doing good, starting this organization, man. That's good, man. So what made you change around? The family, the support, or you yourself just deciding?
I just decided to, you know, that was enough,
That's right.
you know, because a big thing had happened with me with one of my, you know, one of my little homies, and it I feel like, you know, everything I done did, and to be it what's the point in you know, doing all this time and doing everything I did, and to not be respected. You know what I mean? Because, you know, these young cats, they have their own minds, you know, and they want to be bigger than the next man, you know. But I ain't gonna be out here to babysit nobody no more. You know what I mean? That's just my time. You know, so things happen for a reason, to where that's when changes come about. You know, and
Yep.
that one right there, it just made me like, you know what? So that I don't get too much, you know, and slide backwards, I'm gonna just go ahead and just cut it here and just walk my own path. You know, because I love my babies and I don't want to leave them. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Yeah.
And I got to focus on them.
That's what being a man is about, is choosing your path and standing to it. You know, it's
Yeah.
what you've been saying all along, man. Man, good
Yeah.
shit, Oos. Good shit.
Yeah.